You might barely be able to see Hops and Sorry in the background. They're a young couple that stayed at the shelter last night with me. Well, they stayed in the shelter while I tented. So it was a good night. Rained a whole night long. And I sat and talked with them for a while we had dinner, and then I went down to the tent pretty early. Got to sleep early, but right when I was just about to fall asleep, it was still really early, light outside. I heard Sorry, it's the girl, say, go, "Oh my gosh!" And so I looked out of the tent, and she's looking across the way, and there's two really big bears, like way up in the trees. And so they came tearing down and took off, which was a good sign that they were afraid of her and her voice. But anyway, got us all thinking we might be dealing with bears at night, you know. But they had a bear box there, and probably a good thing. But I didn't really hear any activity last night. It's always hard to hear when it's raining, you know, whether you know, if nothing's like attacking you or trying to eat your canister, you can't really tell if something's walking by that easily if it's raining. So anyway, nothing. It was a good night, and it was really nice to talk to them. They seem real cool, so I hope they have a successful through hike. They started earlier in the year, like everyone else's story, had to get off the trail. Now they're doing this weird flip-flop thing where they started up north and they're traveling south, and when they get to where they stopped before, they're going to probably go all the way up to Katahdin in Maine and then hike the rest of the way south to where they stopped, and anyway, try to piece the whole thing together. So it's a weird year. Lots of people are doing stuff like that. Anyway, Hops and Sorry, it was awesome hanging out with you, and wish you guys the best. So the weather forecast calls for a really good chance of rain for like the next, foreseeable future, like the next 10 days or whatever. So who knows what that means, but it does mean there's a good chance, so might be doing this for a while. I also know that it's supposed to be warming up just a little. Maybe highs in the low 70s, lows in the 50s, which would be awesome instead of, highs in the 40s or maybe 50s, which is the way it's been the last 3 days or so. So, I mean, I don't really want to get hot, but it'll be really nice to not have to worry about being frozen, and be nice to not have to worry about having Ziplocs on my hands, things like that. So that's what I have to look forward to for the next few days. There have been so many gates. Sorry, I'm trying to do things with not enough hands here. So many gates through the last 3 days. I guess because there's, I see lots of evidence of cows and cattle and cattle and ponies anyway. And even though I haven't seen much of either of them, a lot of this land must be used for that kind of thing, because they're just trying to keep stuff from going back and forth. But anyway, yeah, I bet I've gone through 10 gates like that, or similar to that, since I went through that handicap access section of the trail. And boy, I couldn't tell you how many kind of styles I've gone through, the ones where you just have to go through and they narrow down so that large animals can't work their way through. Anyway, probably a similar number, so it's been a lot. Just helps you kind of realize that there's still civilization right here close. Well, here's why there was a gate. Lots of cattle, and of course there's a marking, but I can't even see where the next marking is, so I don't know where the trail goes. What looks like a trail? Does a sharp right here. Hey buddy, how you doing? Yeah, it goes this way. I got confirmation from Sorry and Hops last night that the car alarms I've been hearing lately are, yes, they are cicadas, as I suspected. So, yeah, the good news, I guess, is so they've come from the north, right? They're southbound, and so they've been going through the worst of it, I guess. They said it wasn't really all that bad, actually, but they said it has shown signs of that they're kind of petering out. They, the last several days, they said they haven't seen very many. They're just seeing a bunch of the dead bodies laying around, you know. Now that they've done their thing, and they're going to be incubating for another 17 years. So, yeah, I may or may not really encounter them. I mean, I still hear it, like even now in the background. So if I happen to get to the right area at the right time, I may still encounter them, but I may not. Today should be quite a bit different day than I've had the last couple of days for a couple of reasons. I only have to do kind of my normal 16-ish miles today, just to get where I need to go, and there are no more shelters with bear boxes, so I'm hanging my food tonight one way or the other, and so it doesn't matter if I'm near a shelter or not, so I can just hike till I'm ready to be done, or until I find a good place, good hang tree or something like that. And also, because it's not going to be as cold, I hope, I can just take it at a little more normal pace today. No more running down the trail. And, just slow down a little and stop and take in the nature around me. Unlike the last day and a half where I just had my nose down and I was just cranking. So, I'm looking forward to it, looking up a little and noticing what's happening out here. The crossing of this road this morning marks the end of my descent for the day, pretty much. As I've gone about 2 miles, and the whole rest of the 14 miles is pretty much almost entirely just gradual climbing. So I'll just be taking it slower today and gradually climbing all day long. Came out of the woods here. This power line easement going through. About ready to go back in, but my gosh, it was so nice and sunny that I thought, I gotta stop and dry off, enjoy some of this warmth. I even pulled my tent out. My tent was so wet, of course, but also just muddy because that site last night was not great. And so yeah, I used my little towel there and wiped off as much dirt as I could, and there's still a bunch around there, but got it a lot better and letting it dry out a little. So tonight it'll be a little nicer when I get in it. And yeah, I'll just spend 5 minutes here and I'll get back on the road. Nice to have a day where I'm moving just a little different, It's just nice to have some variety. Yesterday actually was really fun, just flying all day, just running and going fast and staying warm or trying to stay warm, and all that. It's really awesome today too to just be going slower. I'm doing just barely over 2 miles an hour in total, and it's still good speed, but just taking my time and stopping to do things like dry out my tent. Coming up on Partnership Shelter. Yeah, it's just right at the top of this hill actually. And not really sure what Partnership is for, what that, where that comes from. But it's within just about 0.2 of a mile beyond the shelter is Pat Jennings Visitor Center. And one of the cool things is it's right on a main road there that actually goes each way to these two different cities that people resupply at quite often. But you can actually walk to the visitor center and order a pizza and have it delivered and then bring it back to the shelter. So people do that quite often. But I will not be stopping here today. This is only somewhere close to my halfway point. So just be passing through. I guess the visitor center's just right straight up here. I don't know, there weren't any blazes or anything telling me to go this way, but it seems like it's the only way to go, so I'll keep going this way. I don't know why they said the visitor center is 0.2 of a mile. It's about 500 feet. Is that 0.2 of a mile? It's about less than 1/10 of a mile. Here's a bigger map than the one I showed the other day that I'm not going to go through and try to figure out everything on here, but Damascus is right there. And so if you're interested, you can pause this and look through or go slowly through it. But I know that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to video it real slowly here, try to get everything, and then come back and take a look at it later. Hopefully you can see it with the glare and everything. But anyway, right here, Pat Jennings Visitor Center, that's where we're at. And then I'm heading up close to Chatfield Shelter tonight. Maybe a little short here on Glade Mountain. It's probably where I'll stay. And then off the map. So, there's the thing. You can use this phone to call in for hiker services like ER stuff, restaurants to deliver. This is where you can order the pizza from, I suppose, one of those two places. That's awesome. And it says, please take all pizza boxes to the dumpster at the end of the parking lot out from the Partnership Shelter. So that means they don't care if you dump trash there, which means I'm going to go back where I came from and dump some trash. That rock right there served me very well. Sat down and had a quick lunch. That way I could throw that trash in the dumpster as well. And I even unwrapped a couple of snacks that I'll probably eat on the way to my final destination today. And put those in a Ziploc that I already had, so I could throw that trash away, so that'll be nice. I won't have to carry any trash until I start eating tomorrow morning. So, alright, let's figure out how to get out of this visitor center area. Does that look like a white blaze on the back of that sign? I think so. I'm heading the right way. Unfortunately, the visitor center is closed, which doesn't surprise me. Wow, is that a freaking wasp nest or a bee or something? That's kind of terrifying. Anyway, yeah, it'd be interesting to go in and, I don't know. What I really was hoping, oh yeah, there's a Pepsi machine in there. Dang. That's what I was really hoping for. I don't care about the visitor center, I just want a Coke or Pepsi. Alright, and there's a blaze right across the way there. So, right there. So that's where I'm going. See you in a while. Well, that's interesting. I guess I'll be coming to a big intersection sometime tomorrow. I-81. That was a little tiny fawn. Really tiny. I mean, that was about the size of a dog. All right. Well, I'm all set up in my tent for the night. I had dinner way early, and not a lot to say. I'm gonna sew up the pocket of my pants and try to get to bed early tonight. Yeah. Here's how my feet look in the morning. Nice and dry and relatively normal. And here's what they look like after an entire day of being in wet socks and pouring down rain. Kind of gross, huh? I had to hang my bear bag, of course, tonight. Fingers crossed. So I'm all set up here. If I zoom in right where? Right there. You might be able to see my bear bag. I don't know, I just wanted to put it somewhere I could keep an eye on it. I think I did a good job with the hang, but I mean, I've hung bear bags before. I'm just freaked out after what happened the other night. I'm gonna lose my food. So, whatever, we'll see what happens. Wish me luck. Sheesh. About 8 o'clock. I'm really close to falling asleep. I have no idea what's going on out here, man. I'm laying here. All of a sudden I hear thundering, like coming down the trail. Like, sounds like people chasing each other, or buffalo. I mean, it's like bam, 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 bam. I jump up, I unzip my tent, I look outside. I don't know what else was out there, because it was definitely more than one thing I heard. But there's a bear, a medium-sized bear, right on the trail. You know, maybe 40 feet from my tent. It looks over at me like, wow, and it takes off. But then I see it kind of run around over there, so I throw a couple of rocks and it jets out of here. I don't know, man. Does that mean there are going to be 5 bears going for my food again tonight? I have no idea. I just can't believe they're just like freaking everywhere. You know? I just want to relax and sleep and not worry about it. But I guess it's just part of it, and I need to get over it, don't I? Good night.